Children come and go in this hospital every day. The following scenes show some of the most common accidents that happen to kids. Because they did first and thought last, they ended up in an ambulance like the one here. And here are some facts not very many people know. More children are crippled or killed by accidents in their home or neighborhood than all the diseases like polio, TB, and heart trouble put together. Tell that to your mom and dad tonight. They'll really be surprised. For instance, we know that every boy and girl should know how to swim. Uh-oh, that girl wants to have some fun. Looks like she's telling her friend to jump on Johnny when he comes up from his dive. Yep, that's what she told him to do, all right. That's a good trick. It worked out just like she planned. Wait a minute, something's wrong with Johnny. Of course, tricks don't always turn out as we think they will. Like this one, for instance. Lucky for Johnny that Pete knew enough to drag him out of the pool and give him artificial respiration at once. Had they waited until they got to the hospital to do it, like this poor boy, it would have been too late. The trick almost had an unhappy ending. Another bad thing to fool around with is fire, as you all know. A campfire can be a lot of fun, but it can also be very dangerous. But Bill just isn't thinking about danger. It sure makes you mad when you try and still can't get a blaze started. It seems that David here has a good idea. Probably some more matches. Although if he hasn't started it by now, if that's gas in that can, he's going to be awfully sorry. Maybe one of his pals will stop him from throwing that gas on the fire. No one said a word. They're too busy concentrating on the fire to think about what might happen. And did happen. So, another bad accident. It doesn't always take gasoline to make fire dangerous. With know-how, you can burn fires. With carelessness, fires will burn you. Here's another cause for accidents happening while you're playing. For instance, this looks simple, doesn't it? And it was, until one of the boys decided to jump. Whoops, there he goes. He still seems to be in one piece. He said it was easy, nothing to it. Tells his friend to jump. But this boy isn't so sure. Come on, Mike, don't be afraid. Jump. It's not high. So Mike, not wanting to appear afraid, takes a deep breath and jumps. Unfortunately, he landed the wrong way. His friend is very sorry, but being sorry won't mend a broken leg. So the hospital gets another patient. Jumping from high places isn't smart, and pushing somebody when he doesn't expect it can be very dangerous. Walking on picket fences, climbing around old buildings may be fun, but it can also put boys and girls in the hospital, and that isn't so much fun. Here's something else to look out for. Playing in the streets. Ball games are fun, but they should also be safe. That's what playgrounds and schoolyards are for. For if he keeps his eye on the ball, he can't look out for traffic too. Neither a friend's warning nor the car's brakes prevented an accident or saved this boy. And again, the ambulance brings in the victim of an accident that never should have happened. Bob and Ed went canoeing at the lake one afternoon. It was a lovely day, peaceful and quiet, perfect for boating. Too quiet for Ed, I guess, 'cause all of a sudden, he shouted to Bob to look at something on the shore. Bob did something no one should ever do, stand up in a canoe. This gave Ed a chance to start rocking the canoe and scare poor Bob. But once again, what started out as an innocent joke ended up in something more serious. It's a good thing Ed remembered what he'd learned in the Boy Scouts and threw Bob a safety seat in time to prevent a drowning. Guns cause some of the worst accidents and the most tragic: blindness. Such a gun is not only illegal for boys in most cities, but is a possible killer and crippler in their hands. He's a good shot, but look what happened. It's very easy to put out an eye with a BB gun, or with pieces of flying glass, as happened in this case. Is it worth this, boys and girls? Supposing this were you. Just getting a half look at the world because someone didn't know how to use a gun safely. Now take the case of this young lady, cutting out paper dolls in the safety of her own home. Doesn't seem possible an accident could happen here, does it? When she heard her father at the door, she got excited. She'd just have time to hide behind the door and surprise him, like she did every night. She jumped to her feet. This time it was different. She tripped and fell on the scissors. And the doctor has another patch-up job to do. It's always dangerous to run with scissors or any other sharp, pointed object in the hand. It's also dangerous to climb on anything while holding scissors. If you fell, you could cut yourself or poke out an eye. Now, how could anything possibly happen to these boys? Let's go out to the edge of the cliff. His friends know better. But Nick feels like exploring. He doesn't stop to think that the fence was put up for a reason. No, Nick doesn't stop to think until it's too late. The boy learned what fences were for the hard way, and he's not out of trouble yet. But lucky for Nick, he's not alone. One of his friends goes for help. And comes back with the best friend a kid could have when trouble occurs: a policeman. The officer goes into action fast. And the job of rescue begins. That's another thing to remember, boys and girls. Whenever you get into real trouble, go to your nearest police officer or sheriff. You'll find him a real friend in need. See how the officer questions Nick to make sure he's not hurt any place but his wrist before he carries him up the rope. He's learned his lesson and was lucky not to have been hurt more than he was. You youngsters can save yourselves a lot of pain if you just stop and think. Listen to the advice of your parents and teachers. A hospital bed isn't anywhere near as nice as your bed at home. A bone that is broken in too many places may keep you from ever playing ball again. Maybe figures don't mean much to you, but listen, try to understand, because it's your life I'm talking about. More than 12,500 kids die every year. More than 50,000 of them are permanently crippled every year. More than 1,500,000 children are seriously injured every year. And all of these accidents happen in your own home, your own neighborhood. So be careful, kids. Too many youngsters end up in the hospital. Why don't you stay out of it? Live and learn, because you are the America of tomorrow.